Okay, it's another one of those Thomas and Friends studies of what I see in the toy stores that I go to in Sydney, Australia, in my end of town. This study is what I call the mid 2016 study. It encompasses all of the retailers around where I live, apart from Toys R Us, which will be a separate video. Well, this video is very much where the video tells a story, and I'm just going to back it up with something to say in the background. I've been making toy reviews on YouTube for far too many years now. I buy all the toys myself, and I get a real feel for what's in the shops and what is difficult to find. I can easily say that 2016 has been the most difficult year to purchase some Thomas & Friends toys that I've come across. Mind you, we are in the advent of a toy called the Thomas Minis, which has really shaken up the Thomas & Friends realm. There's nothing wrong with Thomas Minis, but your children may enjoy the Thomas Wooden Railway even more. It's a premium product. It is the most difficult product to find. But I've found out that Mattel have been setting up a direct-to-consumer strategy to sell these toys. And also, the retailer Toys R Us is a place where possibly you will find a grand range of these toys. So it's a case of really understanding where to look if you're into your Thomas Wooden Railway. But that's the tip of the iceberg of difficult to find things. I speak to many retailers and other people shopping for Thomas toys in the toy aisles, and one constant I hear is, where is the Trackmaster 2 trains? Where are the track packs? Where is the Thomas Take and Play toys? They are so often totally missing in action, and I can show you plenty of video of empty pegs where the Thomas Take and Play toys should be hanging, and these empty pegs don't last just for weeks, they can last for months. Now, this empty peg syndrome is happening in what I call the major retailers. Now, last time I looked, you can't make money from empty pegs. So if Mattel are crowing about bad profits, well, hey, you got to start looking at what you've got on your empty pegs. So because I do Thomas and Friends toy reviews on YouTube, I get to connect with a lot of the people who buy these toys, and these people live all around the world. And I'm often hearing stories of toys which, well, can't be found, or toys that are totally oversupplied, or parts of the world where there seems to be a constant in problems in supplying these toys to the toy stores. Maybe a great example of the craziness of the Thomas stock is looking at the Thomas & Friends Minis. How many people have said in my videos, hey Leo, we saw Wave 1 and Wave 2, but we never saw Wave 3 and Wave 4. Or someone might have said, well, we saw Wave 2 and 3 and nothing else. And so many people have said, Leo, how do you pull off getting Wave 1, 2, 3 and 4? Well, I can tell you this, I get zero help from the toy company. I have to study the shops and how it lands in store, and it's been very, very stressful to pull off Wave 1, 2, 3 and 4 over 2 years. And I can tell you what, I don't think I'm going to do that for a third year. I've got better things to do in my life than that. I could almost formulate a couple of conspiracy theories about how the Thomas & Friends stock is so difficult to find. Mind you, when I think back 6 years when Chuggington first appeared on the scene, I didn't see Thomas & Friends playing hide and seek like they are now. They put up a big fight when Chuggington appeared on the scene, and as we know, in Australia, well, basically Chuggington got blown out of the toy stores. You just can't find the Chuggington toys anymore. I'm very comfortable going to the shops and buying things, and I notice things. If I see there's dust on the toys, that's telling me, well, the toy's been in shop for a long time, it hasn't moved. And what I do notice is some retailers will have Thomas stock that just sits there for a long time. It is very price dependent. If a retailer is selling the toys just a few dollars more than another shop, they tend not to move. And it also can relate to the fact that some characters are nowhere near as popular as others. But it's probably far more complex than that. There's been a lot of changes in the last 5, even 10 years. Online retailing has certainly changed the way people find things. The advent of the iPad or the tablet and all of the free apps, the children of the past 5 or 6 years have all of a sudden had a new toy which has got free games to play. How can the toy industry ever compete with this? Mind you, they can make apps that then connect to toys, but I tell you what, I don't really think I've seen something that does it properly. And of course now we're into the revelation that children who've been playing with iPads for too long are starting to get some serious eye problems. So all of a sudden, who knows, playing with toys may be back in favour again. I'm pretty sure the Mattel company is a very, very savvy operator when it comes to selling toys. But Thomas & Friends isn't the only brand that I find difficult to find. Disney cars, toys, most of the time, empty pegs as well. And then there's the lack of variety of items that I see in Australia. And it wasn't until I saw what Bean Meister 22 was picking up through Amazon with old Trackmaster playsets, and I thought, wow, I've never ever seen those ever land in Australia. So maybe the message is going and toy hunting in stores is a thing of the past. You basically hop online and find whatever you want, but the problem there is in Australia you also pay a premium price because the postage just whacks the price through the roof. And anyone who's been playing with the Thomas & Friends toys for any length of time would have noticed, especially in the last couple of years, there's been a downsizing and simplification of these toys. But that may be playing out as an advantage because it is keeping the price of these toys down. One thing I will say is all the time I've been looking at these toys, in Australia at least, these toys have not really gone up in price. And that's sort of nice to see. Well, I better leave this video here. Australia is a bit of a basket case. It's a much smaller market than the USA. But I'm really keen to hear what people in the UK and Europe and the USA and Japan have to say about what they see with Thomas stock. As I said earlier in the video, 2016 has been the most difficult year to get the Thomas & Friends toys. Who knows, maybe Mattel are trying to funnel us to buy these products online. That could be part of the conspiracy. Maybe you know something that I don't know. Please let me know. I better leave this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching and bye for now. And just remember, our economics lesson in this video is you cannot make a cent from an empty peg in a store. Well, I better tack this on at the end of the video. One of the stores that featured a lot of empty pegs in this video finally got restocked, but I wouldn't call it the fresh stock for 2016. I did watch this stock over a couple of weeks and it sold pretty fast, and then I saw the new stock for 2016 land, but it wasn't until the first weeks of September. And sure, that's the lead up to Christmas, that's the hot time for toys, but sadly, for a lot of the year, the Thomas stock is too hard to find in shop. I just hope Mattel in the USA see this, so they can send messages to Mattel Australia to start to get their act together in relation to Thomas & Friends stock.